What's up, everyone? What in the F is going on in Australia? Let's watch this crazy video together being passed around. Honestly, as an American, I don't know. I know some things about what Australians. I know they like their rugby. That's like my English. That's terrible. They like rugby. They suck at soccer. I don't know what. The Lord of the Rings. Put a shrimp on the barbie. They surf. There's sharks out there. There's crazy critters. But then, so it sounds like a rugged place to live. But then they have the most authoritarianistic regime in charge of the whole COVID breakdown that they're losing their minds out there. It's honestly insane to me. But let's listen to this news report coming out. This is the news. All right? This isn't Nazi propaganda hour where we look for citizens to put in our camps. But that's what it feels like. I've only watched the first 10 seconds and I stopped and I was like, I just got to do a video on this because this video is ridiculous. Let's watch this.
It's those doing the wrong thing driving our record case numbers. Among the most concerning cases, a COVID patient who's tonight on the run from a hotspot.
It's like little tattletales.
We got to get down to every single citizen out there. We will find you, we'll write your name down, and we're going to put you on the news, all right? There's no escaping the power of 9 News of
Police
Australia.
And health authorities have issued an urgent appeal.
Anthony Karam knows he's COVID positive when he's...
Look at this COVID patient. Disgusting. He's wearing a robe.
Steps into this public
He's balding in the back
already breaking
of his
so
hair.
many rules. He doesn't bother to cover his mouth as he sneezes and splutters.
kinda
The
gross.
27-year-old is still infectious but has gone missing from his Wentworth Point apartment. A warrant now issued for his arrest.
This 27-year-old chap who apparently has expressed the view that he doesn't care less whether he spreads the virus is one example of the worst of the worst.
There's little sympathy for anyone ignoring the health orders.
All right, so it starts out like that, where you're like, okay, why would that guy not, take his sickness seriously at all? I guess he doesn't feel that bad or whatever. But this is where it just gets like crazy. This is a part of the video where it just like flips on a switch. And then it goes to the point where you're like, what country are we living in? What year is it right now?
Even this group of teenagers
Disgusting.
caught partying
Teenagers partying. How dare they? God. Ready?
ignoring the health orders. Even this group of teenagers
Thick.
caught partying after dark
Thick.
at the bottom of the North Bondi Cliffs. Herded to
It looked like a bunch of bros partying. You're gonna cut down on bro time, bro? During a pandemic? Sick.
higher ground by Polaire's spotlight and speaker. The 8 boys were placed in handcuffs and left to explain a $1,000 fine to mum.
Oh my God.
681 penalty infringement notices issued in the last 24 hours. More than 400 of those notices were again for people being outside of their home without...
I really love this cop. I mean, what is this? What? We're talking about teenagers getting together at the party.
100 of those notices were again for people being outside of...
His last name is Warboys. Hi, I'm Gary Warboys. God. Well, yeah, I know one person you're going to war with. Teenage boys. We're going to get them off the streets.
their home without a reasonable excuse.
Sideline Sharks player Josh Dugan
Oh,
denies
sick.
lying
Tattoos?
to police when he was found a long way from
He's
Sydney.
dead.
The
Oh, he's up.
31-year-old stopped at 11:30
Oh
last
my
night in
God.
Lithgow, where
They got like little Apple trackers on these people.
he allegedly told officers he was moving to the area and feeding animals before admitting to visiting a friend.
Sick. This guy went out by himself to go feed a bunch of animals and then visit his friend. So dangerous. Just like, do we even know, is this guy sick? I don't know. It's just a man going out and visiting friends. You gotta stop that, all right? You're spreading the virus. There's no logic to this stuff anymore. Is he sick? Is he walking around spreading the virus because he's sick? No, he's just a guy who's probably really healthy, rugby player.
He's got tattoos, so you know he's strong.
He's feeding animals, so he's a good chap. He's moving to the area and he's visiting a friend. They've lost their minds. They have lost their minds. They're singling out people on the news. What world are we in? They're singling out people for breaking COVID restrictions on the news, as if that's what should be talked about.
He and a passenger turned back to Sydney, only to be pulled over a second time, travelling in the wrong direction. The NRL...
So the guy's not even using Google Maps. Now maybe he should be arrested because maybe he's not the smartest chap in the book. I'm going the wrong direction. I'm sure he's not going the wrong direction. I'm sure he's going the right direction. And these people are losing their minds.
is investigating and criminal charges could be
Criminal
laid.
charges.
It's getting harder and harder to hide if you're doing the wrong thing, especially in the construction industry. A crackdown following on from the recent shutdown. Workers sent home if their paperwork isn't in check.
It is a struggle, but it's it's just what has to be done. Like, nobody likes telling people to go home. They've all got families to feed.
Our cameras rolling on another random blitz in Marsden Park.
Oh my God. Look at these little brown shirts doing their due diligence for the safety of the community. Hey, because we got to root out some of these people. They're infectious. They're disease-ridden. These are no longer brown shirts. They're blue shirts. And they're wearing little white hats. Isn't that nice?
Inspectors have asked these tradesmen to show proof of
These
their
psychotic
QR
people.
check-in, as well as identification and vaccination records. One of the men here is from Campsie,
You will show us your papers.
and he doesn't have his documentation.
Oh, sick. Lock him up forever. This is insane. What world are we in right now?
He's being sent home. He may lose a chunk of his pay too.
Oh,
while
cool. So the guy that probably has a bunch of kids at home, he's not going to be able to work and provide for his family. You need to go home. You don't have your papers here, unvaccinated, disgusting human being. They are making people the other right now and establishing their authority. My heart breaks, honestly, for these people in Australia for what they have to do. You know, it's like some part of you is like, your heart doesn't break as much as you're like, you voted for this. But at the same time, the people that didn't vote for this, those people I'm just, this sucks. This is crazy. This is insane. That's why that horseman showed up to the protest. We need more men like him.
follow through with a fine. Tiffany Genders, 9 News.
For breaking news, turn to...
Okay, so this is what's going on in Australia. Their lockdowns aren't loosening up. They're not slowly getting rid of it. Just like typical, the more government takes control, the more they keep that control and then continue to pile on upon it. You guys need to stand up and protest in Australia. And this is also my plea as Americans. The minute you start just, going along with this whole passport thing, you're like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that bad. I'm vaccinated, so I'm going to show it. I'm unvaccinated, so I'm just not going to go to that business. They will continue to get more power. We live in a crazy society today where people don't understand what they're signing up for, and this is one of the things. I have friends right now. I have liberal friends that are saying, "You've always had a vaccine passport. What are you so afraid of? You've had to show vaccine for passports going to schools and stuff like that." I'm like, yeah, I had to show my vaccine passport every time I went into Chili's and ordered some chicken nugs and got some beers with the bros. I had to show my vaccine passport whenever I went to the gym. I have to show my passport everywhere. Are you serious? It's the same thing. It's not the same thing, and you know it. That's such a disingenuous argument. I'm sick of this crap. As Biden says, he's going to see what the federal powers have. We'll see what happens. I might have to go against some of these governors. I don't think this is over, especially as Pfizer just came down the throats of everyone and came down and said, hey, it's FDA approved now. What's your excuse? Take the vaccine or else. It's like in New York right now. Hey, this is the key to the city. You want to have the key? You got to follow the rules. And yeah, the rules will keep changing. And yeah, we'll keep adding to the rules. But you want to be a good little boy or good little girl or non-binary citizen, you need to follow the rules. I am happy to wake up this morning and see an area that I live in where people are protesting the mask mandates for kids. We need more parents to continue to stand up, and we need more protests against what's going down, because it's only going to ramp up now that FDA approved the Pfizer vaccine, because now it's like, it's not a trial anymore. It's FDA approved. Are those booster shots FDA approved? Don't say that. They're emergency authorization. I am nervous about what's going to happen in this world. And I see more people saying, get out of the cities. It's easy for you when you are a prominent YouTuber making all your money just sitting at home. Some of us have jobs. Some of us have to work in cities. Some of us, our jobs require to be around people in person. So I think it's unfair to just say to people they need to just get out of the cities and not fight it. No, people need to fight it. People need, and I'm not saying start a war. That's ridiculous. I'm saying you need to protest. You need to find lawyers on your team. You need to figure out what your rights are in your jobs. You need to make it clear to your employers your intentions. I think people need to, if they are just saying, you know what, I'm going to make the choice not to be vaccinated, you need to make your employers really clear that they're going to have an issue on their hands once the mandates happen. I know a lot of nurses who are not going to get the vaccine, but there are a lot of governors pushing down their throats for healthcare workers. There is already a nursing shortage in America. Can you imagine what will happen? Even doctors. Can you imagine what will happen when they force these people to be vaccinated and they all quit? They just have been, I have friends, I have close family members that work in ICU that have been treating COVID patients for the last year and a half, and they're not vaccinated. If they don't want to be vaccinated, it's on them. That's how it works, because the vaccine works for you. If you take the vaccine, it's for you. It's not for other people. The only people that it affects are the people that aren't vaccinated. That's on them. That's how it's supposed to work. That's the whole point of a vaccine. But you guys are speaking it out in this weird tone like,
well, if you're not vaccinated, you're the one spreading the virus. You're the one putting all these vaccinated people in danger.
No, I thought the vaccine works. Does it not work? We live in a crazy world. We live in a dangerous world, and it's more totalitarianism is being pushed out. Fascist governments being pushed down our throats by the day, by the minute, and we need more people to stand up. And I'm talking to you liberals. I'm talking to you Democrats. I'm talking to you conservatives. I'm talking to people that are just like, I'm just going to go to my job and that's it. I'm not going to get involved in politics and not engage because I'm too tired. Yeah, but do you want to live in a free society or not? Because someone always said to me is that freedom is not free. There's a reason it's not free. You have to work for freedom sometimes, especially when you have a government who wants to control your life. You might think these passports, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to show my card and I'm going to get it. It's going to continue down the road. We're going to have little social credit scores. This is what they do. What governments always do. They put the foot in the door. They stop it and say, hey, we're going to do a little bit more. You guys are okay with this? We'll do a little bit more. You guys are okay with this? We'll do a little bit more. Until you put your foot down and say, no more. And until that happens, they're going to continue to push the limits because they have enough people that are so freaked out to even go outside. I have neighbors right now that literally run for me. And it might be my podcast, and it might be me, but like they are so freaked out to talk to other human beings that they want to keep their social distance at all times. And they're young. So you have enough people in this world that are freaked out, that are scared to go out and do things, that the government will take advantage and put down more authoritarianism rules, more laws for you to feel safe. But I promise you one thing, safety and freedom do not go hand in hand. Have a fantastic day, everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. I just wanted to share this video. Honestly, this is psychotic. What's going on in Australia freaks me out, and I pray that doesn't come here, but you never know. So what happens, Australians gave up their guns. Remember that gun buyback program they had? Hey, it's such a good thing. We don't need guns. Not like those crazy Americans who shoot up schools every 5 seconds. No, we don't need guns. I'm seeing more and more TikTok and YouTube and just figures from Australia saying, you guys were right. We shouldn't have gave up our guns. America, you are the only hope in the world. Keep your freedoms. Do not become like us. We look to you for answers, not to ourselves anymore. We're done. And we got to fight for it. Protest, get in the streets, tell your congressman, tell your town council, school board, whatever. Get out there and speak up. Stop being a bystander. Stop saying, well, I don't want to get involved in the government because I'm all about small government. Well, it's not that point anymore. It's at the point where you have to fight for your freedoms now more than just sit back and just go, I'm just not going to get involved. Time to get involved. Time to maybe consider running for a seat, Congress, governor, Senate, town council, especially such an easy thing to get elected to. Maybe it's time for you to consider running for that. I'm speaking to you. Have you ever thought about it? Do it. It's not that hard. Just do it. Do it. And your town might thank you for it because they need more people to stand up and are willing, not just people that are looking for a stepping stool to get into higher, because that's what most people see, town council. It's like being a youth pastor at a church. Like, I'm going to be a youth pastor for a while and then I'm going to become a pastor. That was me. Town council is not just a stepping stool. It's also just a great way to help your community out. Look for that. Become a mayor. I don't know. Have a fantastic day. You need to hear the stories coming out of Australia because some of us are so tired and bored of COVID-19, and some of us are even getting tired of Afghanistan. It's like the same two stories being shoved down your throat, but this stuff has huge implications. And it's something we need to remember and think about. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you on the next episode of The Derek O'Shea Show.